let's face it, death is something that naturally we would fear. And it's totally appropriate to go through those emotional experiences and stages in life, looking at death. You know, I remember back when I was a kid, I was probably 5 years old. One of my earliest memories of being in a funeral home. And I had to go to the viewing and the wake of my great-grandfather. He was a towering Irishman and a beautiful, beautiful example of masculinity and strength. And I remember each and every time spending moments with him, and in that early stage of my life, feeling so loved by this wonderful patriarch of my family. And, you know, going to see him in that form, in that wake, dead, in that state, I remember encountering firsthand, it's like, what is this? This person that I love is now dead, but I didn't really comprehend what was in front of me. You know, and I looked at my family members, I looked at my grandparents, and they had tears in their eyes, and they were weeping, they were grieving. And I remember it fondly, because in that place of prayer, in that place of embracing family members and sitting on my grandmother's lap, she just lost her father. She's holding on to me. I remember the consolation of being together with family, looking directly at this mystery. And I'm so grateful that my parents opened me up to death. Sometimes we want to shelter our loved ones from that reality. We don't want to pass on, you know, that fear to little ones. But we shouldn't look at death with fear. I still remember the crucifix that was over the body of my grandfather. You know, the cross that gives us strength. Strength in what? The weaknesses of life. What's the greatest weakness? We don't know what is beyond death. But Christ died for us so that he could go before us in all forms of suffering. And the greatest suffering, death, Christ goes before us as that beacon of light and hope. So I look back to that wake room. I look back to that funeral home, and it was the beginning of a long journey of life where I found myself in that funeral home, in that setting, time and time again. And I find comfort in that setting, and I hope in my priesthood that I offer comfort in presence in that setting. So again, if we're sitting there and wondering, should I be experiencing fear? It's natural. But what's supernatural is that Christ has conquered death itself. And when he is present to us and we are faithful to him, he means to lead us by way of the spirit of hope, that great theological virtue, that great theological gift of God. He leads us through hope to believe that God will fulfill our deepest longing when he will bring us back together with all who have died, and he will wipe away every tear from those who grieve and mourn.